Hey there everybody, it's Lapidus Cubed here. What is up, all my cube dudes? We're back for another game dev updates. I totally fucking forgot to put on my headphones. 1 second. Okay. Alright, we're good now. So, this is the Whisper Softly to Me. I'm going to be showing a bit more of this horror game. I've been working on it constantly. Like, all day yesterday I was working on it just non-stop, and I was modeling stuff for it, and I was adding new features to it, and I'm actually pretty proud of it, and I'm pretty excited to show you guys what I've added. So the things I'm going to show you are, I'm going to show you, as you can kind of see right here in this little, the scene editor, I added a different, like, scene, I guess, not really scene, as you could see if I scroll out over here. So this is the apartment you see over here, right? But then I added the hallway, actually, to the apartment, so right outside of the apartment, this is like the hallway apartment. And all these doors here that don't have rooms, these are all false rooms and whatnot. So I guess if you ever play this, you'll know which doors are locked and which doors you'll actually be able to get into, whether they're going to need a key or not. Some of the texturing is a bit messed up, and there are a few faces. I know that, I think it's this window right here. You can see this window, it doesn't have a face right here, like on the bottom section of the window. I got to fix that. I'm just going to re-import the model and set it to the same position with everything fixed and whatnot. I also just realized the reason why the door textures weren't working. These door textures are taken from the original apartment, and the reason why the textures are not being applied to it is because I forgot to unwrap the door in Blender. So that's the problem there. Anyway, so I'm going to hop into the game now. I know you guys were probably waiting for that. Don't want to hear this boring explanation stuff. So I'm going to hop into the game, and you can hear I added that ambient noise. I know it might sound like that's coming maybe from my room or something, but that is the ambient noise of the game, what you're hearing right now. You'll see what this is in a second. So basically I'm just going to show you off kind of the design of the hallway that I made. The doors are actually able to open now, so when you open them. I don't have a sound attached to it, but I'll do that soon. So you can open and close the doors. I was having a problem that when you would close it, but like you would close it on like the little side right here, it would like crash the game, but we're all good with that now. So, yeah, all these rooms are going to serve a purpose eventually. As you can see, some of the texturing, like right there, is a little fucked up. And this wall, I accidentally textured as the outside of the building rather than the inside wall texture. So I got to kind of remap all the materials and whatnot. Okay, I'm getting a little mixed up here. First, I'll show off the windows that I did. I put in these windows, it's just like a little, I think that's actually a stone texture, but I made it more transparent so it looked a bit more like a window. I think it looks kind of nice. I have some lights outside that are shining in, so when you turn off the flashlight, you can see it looks kind of nice, the light pouring in like that. What else did I add? I'm eventually going to add trees and whatnot out here, so you'll see that it looks like you're actually looking out an apartment window, not just into this blue abyss. And same for these. These are just going to be empty doors and whatnot. As you can see from here, I was afraid I was going to have to stop the game and go back, but you can see from here, the lamp over there is flickering. So I added a little flicker script to it just to make it a little bit more creepy, I think. Oh, one other thing. So I also added batteries. Now this obviously does not look like a battery. I still have to model the battery in Blender, but this essentially works just like a battery. So when you look at it, it'll say pick up batteries. I'll eventually change the font, you know, to make it a little bit better. But you notice the flashlight about how strong it is now. Then when I pick up the battery, it gets a little bit stronger. Not that noticeable because the flashlight wasn't that drained, but I can vary the strength of the batteries, and the batteries do disappear once you pick them up. So now, I'm going to show you guys kind of the main thing I've been working on, and I am very excited to show you guys this. I call it the crazy mechanic. I was up at about 3 in the morning, and I was thinking about what I wanted to do for this game, and I thought, well, obviously, whenever the lights are off, I want some creepy shit to start happening. So I'm going to show you kind of the whole cycle of what happens. The enemies don't spawn in, and they don't attack you yet, because I haven't made the enemies yet, and I haven't made any AI, but that's probably going to be one of the biggest things I'm going to be working on next, right next to level design and actually building the rest of the game, because the main game mechanics are actually almost kind of set and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be in here, and I'm going to shut off my flashlight, and I'm not going to talk, and I'm just going to let you guys see kind of what I made. So here we go. So yeah, that is what I made. It took me a couple hours, and I feel crazy from going through all those crazy sounds that I had to put in there. But essentially, when your flashlight is off, or when it has died and you don't have any light, that whole cycle will start playing. And right when the screen gets red and you start hearing those like what the fuck noises, that's when the enemies will spawn around you and they will start kind of chasing you, and you won't be able to outrun them, but you could try. You could try for a little bit. But the second you see, the second you turn on your flashlight, everything actually goes away. I also made it, I could show you again in a second. When you go into the, I'll show you in the apartment, but the light's over there. When you go into the, like, a vicinity around the light, you'll actually be okay, even if your flashlight is off, because that does count as light, and your character will be, like, more calm and more sane in the light. So I'll show you guys that in a second, but yeah, whenever you turn on the flashlight or go into the light, it'll just stop it automatically right away. What I do want to point out, and I hope you guys kind of noticed, I did add some visual effects as well, not just all those crazy-ass sound effects you heard. I added a fish eye, so you'll see that you saw that the windows kind of looked like they were curving and whatnot. That's why I kept walking back and forth, so you could see that everything looked like it was curving, like zooming in a little bit. I added a blur. You could obviously tell that everything was blurring like crazy. When I turn my flashlight off, and this kind of runs throughout the entire thing, you see that I have that like grain right there and that little scribble and whatnot. And you see right when I turn my flashlight off, the music stops right away. So, yeah, and also when the red appears, that's when the enemies are supposed to come in. When the red starts coming in, it gets very, intense. So, I'm going to stop the game real quick. I'm going to go into I'm going to bring the character, because there's no way to get there within the game. I'm going to drag the character into the apartment. Let's see, make sure he's in there all the way. Alright, I'm going to bring him into the apartment. And I'm going to start the game again. Alright, so these lights, even if they're flickering, it doesn't matter if they're on or off with the flicker. So you'll see, I'll start the cycle again. And then when I walk into the light, you'll see the music stops and your character is safe, even if the flashlight is off. So I have another one in the bedroom. And yes, you can open all these doors, which is nice. I am going to build it where the doors will have keys and whatnot, and some doors will be permanently locked, but I was just kind of playing around with the doors, making sure they all work and whatnot. So you'll see in here. I'm not sure how far the radius is for this light. Let's see. Okay, so over here, you're still not close enough, but then if you get a little bit closer, you see you're fine. So, yeah, I am pretty proud of that whole crazy mechanic. I personally think it's scary as hell. I think it's going to freak people out when they're running down those long hallways like that, and they're trying to find batteries, but they can't find batteries, and they weren't conserving their battery power enough, and yeah, I think it'll be cool. And that's basically how you lose the game. That's kind of the main enemy, I guess, of the game, is just not having light. Because when you don't have light, when it gets to that red state, that's when the enemies will start spawning in and attacking you. I'm going to jump into the code real quick. I'll just give you a brief overview of how I built a lot of this. So this is the crazy mechanic, you see, as I called it, the crazy mechanic. I basically just have it where it starts a timer when you're not in light. And when you're not in light, it'll just... Right? Wait, where am I? Okay, yeah. It'll start the timer where it basically keeps going. If the timer is over 1 second, it'll start playing the music. If it's over 10 seconds, it'll start the fisheye effect, and it'll start the heartbeat, and so on. You see all these levels with the time right here. And it's checking if the sounds are already playing, because I accidentally made it where, because this updates every single frame, it'll run through this entire thing. So if I don't check to see if, like, one whole level of sound is playing, then it'll just play all of them again and again and again, and it'll crash the game in, like, 2 seconds, and you just hear, like, a fuck ton of noise, and it's horrible. So, yeah, thankfully I got that all set up, and then when you stop, when you turn your flashlight on, it'll reset everything, all the color and all the fisheye, and everything goes back to normal. So I do have to figure out how to add a fade in and fade out, because I would like the music to fade in rather than just start, and I would also like it to... You know what? I don't know if I want it to fade out yet. I kind of like it where it just abruptly stops when the light goes on, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll figure it out. The flashlight, I already shown you. Yeah, I had already shown you guys. This is kind of... I put the... asking if it's lit up or not, so it could start the crazy mechanic kind of thing. The battery and whatnot just uses a collider. If you're in the right area, it'll display the text, and then it'll... go and charge the flashlight and whatnot. the door, it just rotates it. The interact script, it kind of just shoots a ray out there, and it's asking if it hit a door. If it hits a door, it'll do the change door state function, and that'll just cause it to rotate. And the light flickers kind of just randomly choosing a number, and if the number is a certain thing, then, or depending on what the number is, that's how long the light will stay off for, and it'll just flicker and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I am very excited for this game. I think it's coming along very well. Let me know in the comments, guys. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you like me lather that subscription bunny with that bunny. I keep saying bunny. Subscription button with honey. I said that last video too. I can't believe it. So yeah, tell me, guys, how you like it, how you like the crazy mechanic, any suggestions for the game. It's always appreciated. And yeah, I'll check you all later, my cube dudes. Hope you enjoyed.